Hi, this is Nancy. In this video we're going to take a look at how you use Leader Guide Pro to create a part of a leader guide or a participant guide or an e-leader guide by attaching the Leader Guide Pro functionality to a piece of paper. So I'm in Word. I'm going to bring up my Leader Guide Pro ribbon and I'm going to click on Attach. And in this case I think I'll attach the Leader Guide Pro template to my piece of paper. And I'm going to just take the standard setup. So now I'm being prompted to save this file. So I would go ahead and give this a name, and I'm going to put a number in front of it because I'm going to make my first module. So my file name, I'm going to put a number in, and I'm going to call it Module 1 Intro. And you would name it, whatever you want, and spell it properly. So I'm going to save it. I get a message that the template is attached. Okay, well, nothing's happened. Okay, well, what I've done so far, all I've done is made all of this functionality available to me now on this piece of paper. So the next logical thing to do would be to add a module, which is a topic. So my little module dialog box comes up, so I'm going to type in a topic called Introduction. And when I click OK, I'm prompted to add a lesson because in a leader guide, every module is its own page followed by a lesson, which is where the instructional content begins. So I'll call this first lesson Overview and click OK. And so now I'm seeing something that's familiar. I have my leader guide module overview page. This is the name of my module, my topic. And I have a placeholder here for the goal of this module, which is a great place to put the learning objectives. In this case, I'm not really, it's an introduction, so it would be more the goal of this module is to welcome participants and that sort of thing. And time, I'm thinking that we're going to be spending about 35 minutes on this introduction because we're going to be doing an icebreaker and some other things. And overview, I'm talking to the trainer here, spelling it right, and telling the trainer briefly what he or she is going to be doing in this topic for the next 35 minutes. And then materials needed, if slides are needed, I would drop that in here. If a participant workbook is needed, I would drop that in. So just the materials that are needed for this topic. Now the next page, there's my name of my first lesson, and now I can start adding content. So I could put in, a say block and start typing in what I want the trainer to say to open the day, to start welcoming people. So I'm just typing in here. But the other nice thing I can do here is if this is a slide-driven presentation, I could go here to Special, Slide Images, Add or Replace, and I could go get a slide file. I don't have any open right now, so I could browse and go into my Windows Explorer, and I could go get a slide file, and I could bring it in. So here's one. Let's take this one. So now I pick my slide file, I select my importing dialog box lights up. I set my preferences for what I want to do. I'll just bring in the slides, and I'll take the text off the slides so I can work with the text, and I'll say OK. And I give it a second. I take my hand off my mouse, and this is just an example, of one way you can work. If you've got a whole bunch of slide files that are set up by topic that relate to one big long class, but you've got a whole bunch of slide files that you need to use, this is what you would do. So you've set up a module and a lesson, and now you've brought in a bunch of slides, and you've taken the text off the slides so that you can start to work with it in Leader Guide Pro. So it's in an empty block right now. You could copy it out of here. You could put your cursor here, and maybe these are key points. So you could put in, I put my cursor up there in the slide block. I clicked on the key points thing. I put my cursor here. I use paste special, and all of those things go in bulleted and ready to use. And then I could just highlight that guy, put my cursor way out to the left, cut it. So that's attaching. So now I've got a Leader Guide Pro module. So I would save it, and I would close it. And then when I'm ready, I could start a new leader guide. And once that leader guide is saved and open, I could come over here to my Leader Guide Pro ribbon and over here to Librarian, and I could say Insert Archived Modules or Lessons, and that means just pull in something, a Word file that I've saved. So I would go to a logical insertion point before the red text, and I would click on that, and I could go into Windows Explorer, and I would pick a module, I would click OK, and it would pop in. And I could keep doing that. So if I had started by attaching and making a bunch of separate modules, when I was ready, I could then come back and start a new leader guide, or if I was working with participant guide or e-leader guide, the same, and then use Librarian and pull those guys in, and then I end up with my module and my lesson in here. And if I didn't want that new module, if I didn't have a use for it, the one that we always give you, I could go back here to Librarian and say delete modules or lessons and get rid of that one. And so now my leader guide has updated. If I go to my table of contents, I would see that. So attach is nice because it allows you to work in those individual chunks of content, and then ultimately you know, start your new book and then use Librarian to bring stuff in. Thanks for watching.